What's up, Facebook? We're going live in just a few minutes here. Give me a second. Make sure we got everything going. Guys, hang tight. Just a couple minutes. We're going to get going here. Talk about adrenal fatigue today. Guys, hang tight. Just a couple minutes. We're going to get going here. Talk about adrenal fatigue today. How's it going, everybody? Give me just a minute. We're going to get started here. Hey guys, how's it going? Just one more minute. We're going to get started here talking about adrenal fatigue, the 5 do not ignore signs of adrenal fatigue and what you can do about it. Hang tight. Just one more minute, guys. I think I'm going to have my cat crash the party again today. My cat likes to jump in on the videos. All right, looks like we're good to go. Hey everybody, what's happening? Dr. Dave here. We're talking about the 5 do not ignore signs of adrenal fatigue. So adrenal fatigue, it's the unknown, invisible condition that is affecting so many people. It will unnoticeably take over your life and will lead to very serious diseases, things like diabetes, heart disease, or even cancer. It's a buzzword. You may have heard it before, but do you really know what adrenal fatigue is? Guys, do not ignore these 5 signs of adrenal fatigue, and I'm going to tell you what you can do about it. First, let me tell you a little bit about me, who I am, why I do this. I am a doctor of chiropractic. I have over a decade of clinical experience. I've helped thousands of people get well. Now, it didn't take long for me in practice to realize that nutrition plays a huge role in whether or not people get well. So the people that ate well are the people that got well. The people that didn't eat well, that were not getting the nutrition that they needed, did not get well. So I started to incorporate clinical nutrition into my practice. The more I used nutrition, the better results my patients got. And look, I love chiropractic. I owe much of my own health to the many chiropractors I've had throughout the years, but it became very, very apparent to me that people are literally starving for good nutrition. So I decided to devote my practice and devote my time entirely to the practice of clinical nutrition. So some of you probably have no idea what clinical nutrition is, and that's okay. Whenever I'm giving this talk out in public and I ask who knows what clinical nutrition is, most people don't have a clue what it is. So clinical nutrition, very simply, is the art and science of using food, so food and nutritional supplements, to give the body the opportunity to heal itself. It's my firm belief that the human body can heal itself from almost anything when it's given the chance. And that's exactly what clinical nutrition is. We're giving that body the opportunity to heal itself. Now, very important, I do not diagnose or treat medical conditions. Instead, we're looking for nutritional deficiencies. We're looking for stressors that could be affecting your body, and we're going to help your body recover by using food and nutritional supplements. So today we are talking about the 5 do not ignore signs of adrenal fatigue. I'm also going to give you the 5 clinical pearls to help you on your path to recovering from adrenal fatigue. Really quickly, guys, if you're watching this video, make sure you like it, make sure you share it so other people can watch as well. Like my Facebook page, Dr. David Ritchie DC, and hopefully this is coming through really, really well. Look, get a free copy of my book, Get Serious Why You're Sick, Why Medications Will Never Fix It, and What You Can Do About It at this address, getserious.nutritionalhealingcharlotte.com. Let's get started. What is adrenal fatigue? First thing we need to talk about is what are your adrenals? Okay, so your adrenal glands, they're these little pyramid-shaped glands that they sit on top of your kidneys, on your back. They do a lot of things, but their primary function is to help your body deal with and adapt to stressful situations. Okay, so what they do is they release a hormone called cortisol. And cortisol is going to do a few things for you. It's going to increase your blood pressure. It's going to increase your heart rate. It's going to flood your body with glucose. Glucose is sugar. So primarily it's flooding the big muscles like your leg muscles, chest, and arms with sugar so you have a lot of energy. This is called putting your body into a fight or flight state. You may have heard of this before. So we always give the same example going back to caveman days, cavewoman days, the saber-toothed tiger. You're being attacked by a saber-toothed tiger. Your body's going to go into fight or flight. Are you going to fight it or are you going to run away? Either way, it's a stressful situation. Your blood pressure goes up, your heart rate goes up, body's flooded with glucose, with sugar, so that you can either fight or flight and run away. It still happens today. There's no saber-toothed tigers, but your body still goes into that same fight or flight state when you experience stress. Cortisol is released, blood pressure goes up, heart rate goes up, body's flooded with sugar. So, what is stress? Why does this happen? There's 3 different kinds of stress. The first is physical stress. This can be from a car accident, a sports injury. It doesn't have to be big. It can be something small, like exercise. Just going and exercise, believe it or not, is going to cause your adrenal glands to release cortisol. It's stress. A lack of movement, sitting. I was just talking with this about this with somebody. Lack of movement, sitting. Sitting is the new smoking. It's just as dangerous for your body as smoking. Sitting is a physical stress. Chemical stresses are the second type of stresses that there are. Chemical stresses could be things like pesticides in your food, right? Or just being exposed to them. Environmental toxins, heavy metals, drugs, whether they're legal or illegal, medications, these are chemical stressors on your body. And food can be a chemical stressor. Assuming it just depends on the type of food you're eating. If you're not eating healthy foods, if it has trans fats, if it has MSG, if it has fake sugars, if it has refined sugars, processed grains, or just any number of things that show up in the ingredient list that you can't pronounce, those are chemical toxins. Puts your body into a stress state, adrenals release cortisol. And the third type of stress is going to be emotional stresses. Look, these can be something big like a death in the family, a divorce or a breakup, losing your job, or just the job that you have could be very stressful. Again, it doesn't have to be something big like that. It can be getting in your car to go to work in the morning. Something as simple as that will put your body into a stress state. And look, here's the biggest thing I want you to understand. No matter how big, how small, or the type of stressor, physical, chemical, or emotional, your body is going to respond by having your adrenals release cortisol. Very, very important, okay? Now, what happens over time if you're stressed a lot? And by the way, if you're living in modern day society, and especially if you're an American, because believe me, if you don't believe me, ask a friend from another country. Americans are crazy. We are stressed all the time. So for most of us, we're stressed all the time. Your adrenals are constantly secreting cortisol. Eventually, they become tired. They wear out. and you get something called adrenal fatigue. This is when your adrenals don't function the way that they should. They can't release cortisol or do any of the other functions that they're supposed to as well as they should. So chronic stress leads to adrenal fatigue. Chronic adrenal fatigue, if you have adrenal fatigue for a long period of time, can lead to more serious diseases. And we're talking about things like diabetes. Diabetes often has a adrenal component to it. Serious digestive disorders, we're talking about things like inflammatory bowel, irritable bowel, leaky gut syndrome, Crohn's disease. Digestive disorders and adrenal fatigue go hand in hand. In fact, when somebody comes in with one, I always look for the other because they're so commonly found together. One causes the other. They go hand in hand with one another. In women, chronic adrenal fatigue can lead to thyroid problems. You know, it's estimated that about 80% of women have some degree of thyroid dysfunction, low functioning thyroid, or what's called hypothyroid. Chronic adrenal fatigue can lead to ovarian cysts, polycystic ovaries, fibroid tumors, infertility. And infertility is one of the highest grossing medical professions out there. People are paying tens of thousands of dollars for fertility treatments, and I'll tell you, you talk to anybody in clinical nutrition, you talk to any chiropractor, and they'll tell you that sometimes it doesn't take much to get that switch turned and get the hormones working properly. And it can sometimes be very, very easy to correct this. In men, chronic adrenal fatigue can lead to prostate cancer. It can lead to serious anger issues. And I put anger in here as a serious disease. And here's why. And it typically shows up in men, not always, but typically it's going to be in a man. Chronic serious anger issues can cause you to lose your spouse. It can cause you to lose your job. It can cause you to lose your friends and put you in a very, very dark place. It can definitely wreck your life. I want to make sure that we're still going here. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Looks like we are. And finally, last thing that chronic adrenal fatigue can cause in men, this is just a handful, but erectile dysfunction. Okay, it's very, very common. It's not talked about, but it is very, very common. We all know the purple pill. Purple pill is one of the highest grossing medications out there. It makes the most money. It's probably in the top 10. I'm sure it's in the top 10, purple pill. So it is out there. So if you go to a medical doctor, what's a medical doctor going to do for adrenal fatigue? Medical doctor isn't going to do anything, and here's the reason why. Because adrenal fatigue in the medical world does not exist. It doesn't exist. There's no treatment for it. There's no medical diagnosis for adrenal fatigue. Most medical doctors don't even acknowledge that there's something called adrenal fatigue. But you might get a medication to treat a symptom, like an antidepressant, anti-anxiety, sleeping medication, steroid, anti-inflammatories, especially when we're getting more into the gut issues, the gut part of adrenal fatigue. You can go on to full-blown adrenal disease like Addison's disease or Cushing's disease, where you're going to get corticosteroids or medications that lower your cortisol production. If it's gone on long enough, you get a tumor in your adrenals. They treat it with radiation surgery, maybe pull out the adrenal gland. So I'm here to tell you this. Let's not let that happen. Let's not let it get that far. Okay, let's catch it before that happens, and let's make sure we do something about it. And this is exactly the problem, is that most of us wait for a crisis situation, a crisis scenario. What I mean is a lot of us unintentionally ignore our health until one day you're in a crisis situation, it takes you to the emergency room, where you're forced to make a fear-based crisis decision that has the potential to change your life permanently. A medication, a procedure, or a surgery. We all know someone that's been rushed off to the emergency room, came home, was missing an organ, like a gallbladder. We all probably know somebody that's lost a gallbladder, or had a surgery done, which changed their lives, or was put on medication that they have to take for the rest of their lives. And I'm here to tell you this. The emergency room is not where you should be making important, potentially life-altering healthcare decisions. You want to make these decisions prior to having to go to the emergency room, and that's why I'm here talking with you today. So guys, really quick, if you're just joining us, we're talking about adrenal fatigue. Make sure you like and share the video, like my Facebook page, Dr. David Ritchie DC, and make sure you get a free copy of my book, Get Serious. And I hope you can read this, getserious.nutritionalhealingcharlotte.com. The book is Get Serious, Why You're Sick, Why Medications Won't Fix It, and what you can do about it. All right, so what are the 5 do not ignore signs of adrenal fatigue? Look, there's a lot of symptoms. Okay, there's a lot of symptoms, but these are the 5 big ones, and this is going to split you guys in half. Half of you are going to be like, that's not me. But the other half of you, and I see this all the time when I talk about this in public, half of the people are sitting there shaking their heads like, that's me, I can't believe it, this is me, I had no idea. Number 1, do not ignore sign of adrenal fatigue is chronic fatigue. You're tired, okay? And look, you're not just tired, you are exhausted, you are wiped out. You have no energy, you have no motivation, you're absolutely wiped out. Okay? And this is the number 1 sign, number 1 symptom of adrenal fatigue. Number 2 sign goes right along with this. You're tired during the day, but then at night you're awake. So it's typically right about 10 o'clock is the turning point. You're awake at night. And if you're awake past that 10 o'clock point, you kind of get a second wind. You get a lot of energy and you're going. These are the people that say, I'm a night owl. I do my best work at night, is commonly heard from these folks. So that's one way. Or you fall asleep and you wake up at 3 in the morning. Consistently waking up at 3 in the morning. This is textbook, classic adrenal fatigue. It has to do with your blood sugar levels getting too low, but this is going to be because your adrenals are not functioning the way that they should be. Number 3 sign of adrenal fatigue is that at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, you're tired. You can't keep your eyes open. These are the people that are running for the vending machine, getting a Snickers, people that rely on caffeine, coffee, or sugar to get you through the day. So people getting a cup of coffee at 2 or an energy drink at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And what goes right along with this is that you're very, very irritable. So smallest little thing will set you off, and you're hangry. We all know hangry, right? You get angry when you're hungry. This is very, very common. Again, textbook classic adrenal fatigue symptom. Number 4, do not ignore sign of adrenal fatigue is that you're craving salty foods. Typically potato chips, craving salty foods, and you're always thirsty. You're chugging down the water, it's not getting rid of your thirst, you're peeing a lot, and you're craving salty foods. Okay, so your adrenals also regulate your sodium content in your body, which helps you hold water. Now, if your adrenals can't do that, you're always going to be thirsty and you're always going to be craving those salty foods. So that's very, very important. Again, textbook classic sign of adrenal fatigue. Finally, the 5th sign of adrenal fatigue is that you're gaining weight around the midsection. You're getting that spare tire. Okay? Now this is called the cortisol belly. That's what we call it, the cortisol belly. Remember, cortisol is that hormone, that stress hormone that your adrenals release. So 5 signs, really quick, one more time. Chronic fatigue, exhausted. Number 2, you're awake at night or you're waking up at 3 in the morning. 3, you're tired at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, can't keep your eyes open, you need coffee, caffeine, or sugar to get you through the day. Number 4, you're craving salty foods and you're always thirsty. And number 5 is that you're gaining weight around the midsection, getting that spare tire. So in clinical nutrition, how do we handle this? What do we do? What do we do in my practice? Well, medically, like I said, adrenal fatigue doesn't exist. But I can tell you with 1,000% certainty, adrenal fatigue does exist. How do I know this? Because I've had people come in that fit the pattern of adrenal fatigue. We do the testing, and the testing shows adrenal fatigue, and we treat the adrenal glands and the person gets better. This is called clinical experience. When you repeat this pattern over and over again where people are coming in with what looks like adrenal fatigue, you treat the adrenals and they get better, then you know without a shadow of a doubt there is something called adrenal fatigue, and lots of people are suffering with it. So, how do we do this? First thing I do is I ask a lot of questions. I have a very detailed intake process. We're going to see if you fit the pattern. and then we're going to do some scientific testing. First thing we do is what's called an adrenal stress index. It's a saliva test, or what's called a spit test. This is going to show us your cortisol levels throughout the day, which is letting us know how well your adrenal glands are functioning. Very, very important. We're also going to do something called a hair mineral analysis test. Hair mineral analysis is going to let us know if you have any deficiencies in your vital minerals like calcium and magnesium, both of which, by the way, are vital for adrenal function. So if you are deficient in calcium and magnesium, your adrenals will not work as well as they should. But that doesn't mean go and jump off and start taking calcium and magnesium supplements, because if your levels are good, you're going to take them out of balance by taking those supplements. That's why it's necessary to do the testing to see if you need it or not. Now, hair mineral analysis is also going to let us know if you have any toxic levels of heavy metals in your body, like mercury, aluminum, and arsenic. These are called underlying stressors. If you have an underlying stressor to your health, you will never get healthy until you deal with that. You need to remove any heavy metals that are toxic in your body. Hair mineral analysis will let us know about this. Now, last, we're also going to do a very thorough blood exam. The blood analysis that I use is much more thorough than what you'd get during a physical, an annual physical. This is going to let me know how your organs are functioning. It's going to clue me into any mineral or vitamin deficiencies. It's also going to let me know about any immune challenges, like bacteria, parasites, viral, things like that. And once we know exactly what's happening with you, we create a plan that's specific to you to get you well. So I want to talk about the 5 things that you can do, the 5 clinical pearls to get you started in helping yourself deal with adrenal fatigue, but I'm going to give you my online disclaimer first. So too much information out there in the world about health, about natural health. So you go out on the internet, you go out on TV, you have people, friends and family throwing ideas at you. You should do this, you should do this, you should do this. And I'm telling you, it's too much. You spend 5 minutes on Dr. Google, and by the way, you spend 5-10 minutes on Dr. Google, everybody has cancer, right? That's how it always turns out. Oh my God, I have cancer. So you have people going out there on Dr. Google, and you're self-diagnosing, you're coming up with what you think might be wrong with you, and then once you come up with a diagnosis that's probably wrong, you're going out and trying to find a treatment program for it. And before you know it, after visiting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different websites, you've got 20, 30, 40 different supplements that you got to be taking, 10 or 20 different essential oils that you should be doing, different exercise routines that you should be doing, different types of meditation and rain dances that you should be doing. And I'm telling you, you're going to be spending thousands of dollars that may not be helping you whatsoever. You're going to be wasting your time. And more importantly, you might be doing something that's dangerous. And I'm telling you, I will never give a do-it-yourself protocol over the internet, because every single one of you is different. What one person needs is not what the other person needs. You and the person sitting next to you could have the exact same symptoms, but I guarantee that your nutritional plan will be very different than the person sitting next to you, because everyone is absolutely different. That's why doing the testing is absolutely necessary. Testing is absolutely required. To do otherwise is irresponsible. And by the way, the YouTube channels and whatever else is out there where people are giving these online protocols, I think it's very, very irresponsible, and it can definitely be dangerous for you. So please stay away from those. Let's get into the 5 clinical pearls. So having said that, the 5 things that I have for you, you can do. It's okay to do these. These are not going to be dangerous. Whether or not you have adrenal fatigue, these are going to help you. Okay, so let's get started. Number 1 clinical pearl that you can do starting today to help you handle the effects of chronic adrenal fatigue. Number 1 is sleep. Okay, you gotta get your 8 hours of sleep every single night. More importantly, you have to stick to a schedule. You have to go to bed at the same time and wake up at the same time every single day, even on the weekends. It's gotta be the same time. And you gotta get your 8 hours. Now, if you have adrenal fatigue and you're having this 10 o'clock issue where you stay up past 10 and you can't fall asleep, you got to be asleep before 10. So that means going to bed at 9:30, asleep before 10, getting up at 6 for work or whatever it is for you. That's going to give you your 8 hours every single day, even on the weekends. Now, if it's at all possible, you want to sleep between 7 a.m. and 9 a.m. This can be a nap. You can get up early in the morning and then go back to bed for a couple hours. So if you're home during the day, if at all possible, sleeping from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. These 2 hours, it's the adrenal witching hour. That's what I call it, the adrenal witching hour. For some reason, if you're asleep for these 2 hours, it's very revitalizing to your adrenal glands. Okay, they're going to thank you for it. In addition to that, you want to lay down during stressful times, lay flat on your back, takes the stress off the adrenals. There's 3 times during the day that your adrenals tend to get stressed: 10 a.m., 2 p.m., and 6 p.m. If you lay down for 10 minutes on your back during those times, 10, 2, and 6, it's going to be a big help for you. So guys, number 1 is getting the sleep that you need. Number 2, clinical pearl, how to handle adrenal fatigue, is to have a snack before you go to bed. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean have a bowl of ice cream before you go to bed or a candy bar before you go to bed. You're going to have a healthy snack before you go to bed. It's not going to make you fat. That's a myth. Don't worry about that. You need to have some food in your belly before you go to bed to help you manage your blood sugar. Remember I said waking up at 3 in the morning is low blood sugar. If you have a snack, it's going to help you get through the night. Now, a snack is mostly going to be protein and fat. A little bit of sugar, protein and fat. So here's an example. Half of an apple with almond butter. Half of an apple with almonds. A hard-boiled egg with half of an apple. Some of you might want to snack on carrots. I advise against it. Carrots are a diuretic. You'll be peeing all throughout the night. So stick to something like that. So half of an apple is always great. Almond butter, almonds, hard-boiled egg. Now, if you wake up consistently at 3 in the morning, you want to have a snack waiting for you next to your bed. You got to give your body a little bit of sugar and, again, protein and fat. So the same type of snack waiting for you at 3 in the morning. When you wake up, just eat it. Okay, and a lot of times you're waking up, that hypoglycemia, you're shaking, maybe even a bit of a panic attack or an adrenaline rush is what you're feeling, like you got to go run around the house. Have that snack waiting for you, eat it. It's going to bring your blood sugar back up and help regulate it until you wake up in the morning. You'll be back asleep in about 20 minutes. Okay, so that's going to help you out a lot. That's number 2. Number 3, this is going to affect some of you and it's not going to affect others of you. Acid blockers, proton pump inhibitor medications like Prilosec. Guys, I hate this stuff. I hate it. This stuff will wreck somebody's health like you can't even imagine. Here's why. Acid blockers reduce the amount of acid in your stomach. Now, if you look at the box of Prilosec, it says no less than 4 times on that box for short-term use only. For short-term use only. Everyone that comes into my practice that's taken this stuff has been taking it for years. So they consistently have low acid content in your stomach. Now, guess what, guys? You need a very acidic stomach. That's why you have hydrochloric acid in there. You need acid in there. Why? To digest your proteins. You need it to digest your vitamins and your minerals. If you don't have acid in your stomach, you're not absorbing protein. You're not absorbing your minerals like calcium and magnesium. And what did I say about calcium and magnesium? They're absolutely essential for the function of your adrenal glands. And many other things, by the way. So you're taking these acid blockers that are killing you. And by the way, I have never in my life had somebody come into my practice that has too much acid in their stomach. They got it wrong. Acid reflux, GERD, indigestion, it's not from having too much acid, it's from having too little acid. Again, how do I know this? I know it from clinical experience. Someone comes in with those symptoms, I give them supplements to increase acid content in their stomach, and they get better. I had a guy come in who had these symptoms. The EENT guy stuck a tube down his throat, took a picture of his inside of his stomach. He had a ball, and excuse me, it's disgusting, but he had a tennis ball sized ball of rotting food in his stomach because he didn't have enough acid to break it down. So what did the doctor do? He gave him an acid blocker for his stomach. It doesn't make any sense. I want to hit my head off a brick wall. That's crazy. You need more acid in your stomach to fix these problems. But going back to adrenals, a little rant, going back to adrenals, you got to get the minerals. And if you don't have acid in your stomach, if you're taking these things, you're not getting your minerals. you're not getting your minerals, calcium and magnesium. Okay, so I can't tell you to stop taking them. I'm not allowed to do that, but if it were me, I would never take one again. All right, so that's what I would do. Guys, number 4, clinical pearl, helping to deal with adrenal fatigue here, is going to be salt water. You want to drink salt water. So here's how it works. Your adrenals also, remember I said they have different functions. They also secrete a hormone called aldosterone. Aldosterone is in charge of managing your salt content in your body. It keeps salt in your body so that your body retains water, so you don't get dehydrated. If you have adrenal fatigue, you don't have any more aldosterone. You don't have any salt content. This is why you're craving salt, potato chips. This is why you put salt on all your food. You need salt. It's healthy. This is why you're thirsty all the time. By the way, chugging water with adrenal fatigue is going to make the problem worse. It's going to put more stress on your adrenals, more stress on your kidneys. It's going to make you tired and exhausted. So you got to drink salt water. Here's what you do. For every glass or cup of water that you're drinking, you're going to add about a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, but not that crap table salt. If you have that in your house, chuck it, get rid of it. What you want is a very high quality pink Himalayan salt. Pink Himalayan salt. Very, very healthy. Loaded with trace minerals, very healthy for you. About a 1/4 teaspoon into every glass of water that you drink. Now, even more importantly, first thing in the morning, you're going to take about a bottle, like a 30-ounce bottle of water. You're going to have a 1/2 teaspoon to a teaspoon of salt mixed in there. It's sitting by your bed. First thing you do in the morning when you wake up is chug it. You're going to chug the entire bottle of salt water. What's this going to do? First of all, it's going to rehydrate you because you're dehydrated from sleeping. But more importantly, one of the first things your adrenals have to do when you wake up in the morning, they have to get very, very active, start pumping out cortisol to get your blood pressure up so that when you stand up, you don't black out and fall over. It's got to get your blood pressure up to get blood up to your brain when you stand up. If you chug that 30 ounces of water with salt in it, it's going to get your blood pressure up enough so that your adrenals don't have to kick in. It's going to take a lot of stress off your adrenal glands. Now, how do you know if you need to do this? Really, really easy way is the taste test. Now, it sounds horrible, but I'm telling you, if you have severe adrenal fatigue, you do this, it's going to taste great. You're going to love the taste of the salt water. Okay? If it tastes, for any reason, if it tastes sour, rancid, if it makes you nauseous, if it tastes like battery acid, then you don't need it. Your body's telling you it doesn't want it. But if it tastes great, you are starving for salt and you need it. Okay, that's number 4, guys. Number 5, don't turn off the video right now because this is one of the most important ones, is sugar. And I always go here, and I know you guys are probably banging your head against the wall because I always go to sugar. Sugar is killing you, especially your adrenals. Okay, your adrenals get worn out when you have sugar spikes. I'm not going to get into the biochemistry of it all, but when you're eating refined sugars, processed sugars, you're having insulin spikes, your insulin's bouncing all over the map, your adrenals are working overtime to help balance out the sugar in your blood. And they wear out very, very quickly. This is why adrenal fatigue can lead to diabetes. Okay, so when I say sugar, here's what I mean. Processed sugars, white table sugar, right? Processed sugars that are found in all processed foods. But I also mean grain. Grain is a sugar. And this is where people start hating me. All grain is a sugar, and it's killing you if you have adrenal fatigue. Guys, you gotta stop. You gotta at least reduce it, if not eliminate it. Alcohol is a sugar. Fruit is a sugar. All of these things are killing your adrenals. You gotta bring it down. You gotta bring that sugar content down. So the 5 things, here we go. Sleep, get your 8 hours of sleep, in bed by 10. Sleep from 7 to 9 a.m. in the morning if you can, and lay down when you're stressed. Number 2, snack before bed and at 3 a.m. if you're waking up. Number 3, the acid blockers. You heard what I said about them. Number 4, salt water, very, very important. Number 5, ease up on the sugar. So look, guys, these are helpers only. These are not going to fix adrenal fatigue. All right, so when we're dealing with health conditions, we are dealing with nutritional deficiencies. These are going to help you if you're on a program to correct adrenal fatigue. These are absolutely necessary. But if you have this, you need help and guidance and hand-holding to get you better. All right, so what I'd like to do before I close out today, guys, is I'd like to make you all a special offer if you're sitting out there watching this. I'd like to offer you an initial consultation with me. Okay, now these can be in person. I'm in Charlotte. They can also be virtual. I work with people over the phone. I work with people over Skype. It's no big deal. It works very well. What I do is a very thorough intake. I ask a lot of questions, but most importantly, I need to know who you are. I need to know what your health concerns are and what your health goals are. All right, now, if we need any scientific testing done, I'm going to make those recommendations. I don't do any guesswork. There is absolutely no guesswork in my practice. I use scientific techniques to get my patients world-class results. That's just the way it works in my practice. And once we get there, I'm going to outline a plan to get you well. So the initial consultation is typically $300 in my practice. I'm going to offer it today for $55. That's for being here watching the video. Here's what you need to do. You're going to go to, this is a different address, guys. Write this one down. specialoffer.nutritionalhealingcharlotte.com. specialoffer.nutritionalhealingcharlotte.com. I've made the process ridiculously simple for you. You can go there and get scheduled. It's $55, it's typically $300. Now look, I'm also going to give you a free hair mineral analysis test. Okay, so the hair mineral analysis, like I already said, is going to let us know if there's any deficiencies with your vital minerals like calcium, magnesium, and potassium. It's going to let us know if there's any toxic levels of heavy metals like mercury, aluminum, and arsenic. Okay, so it's an initial consultation, a free hair mineral analysis, and guys, I want to make it a no-brainer for you because I know clinical nutrition might be something new for you. If at the end of that initial consultation, if for any reason you're not happy, I'll give you your money back. Okay? I'm not here to take your money, I'm here to give you an opportunity. If you're not happy, I'll give you your money back. However, if you're ready to move forward, I'll get you your hair mineral analysis kit and we'll get moving and I'll outline a plan to get you well. It's that easy. So guys, one more time. Here's where you're going. specialoffer.nutritionalhealingcharlotte.com. specialoffer.nutritionalhealingcharlotte.com. The process is ridiculously easy. Go there and get signed up. And guys, first of all, make sure you share this video, you like and share this video. Make sure you like my Facebook page, Dr. David Ritchie DC. Let me check online here. I got booted for some reason. I want to see if there's any, if you guys have any questions out here. Facebook land. If you have any questions, go ahead. Hey, Debbie. Okay. So I got one here. How long does it take to heal from adrenal fatigue? This is a very good question, and it really depends on the chronicity and severity. So everybody's going to be different. Now, look, you know it's not going to be overnight. Your body, it takes time to heal. What I can tell you is that adrenal fatigue does take time. It can take easily 6 months to heal. What I can tell you is that it can definitely be done. You have to put in the effort, and you have to be consistent and persistent with your program that you're on. But depending on how severe the problem is with you, I would say, easily 6 months. You got to plan on it. It's going to take a little bit of time, but what I can tell you is people start to feel better very quickly within weeks after starting their programs. Let me check here. We've got another one. Okay, should I stop taking my medications? I was talking about the Prilosec. Look, I'm not allowed, as I'm a doctor of chiropractic, I'm not allowed to tell you to stop taking medications. What I would suggest is if you want to stop taking medications, talk with your medical doctor about stopping them. Some of them you can just stop cold turkey. Some of them you have to be weaned off of. Things like antidepressants, antipsychotics, you got to be weaned off. It can be very, very, very dangerous to just stop those cold turkey. So talk to your medical doctor. If your medical doctor isn't willing to do that and help you, find another medical doctor. They are out there. They will help you do this. So at this point, I'm not recommending that you stop taking medications, okay? And I got one here. How do you treat diabetes? Because diabetes is very closely linked to adrenal fatigue. Sorry, I was just reading a message there. It's very closely related to adrenal fatigue. So Very, very simply, guys, look, you have something called your endocrine system. It's your hormonal system in your entire body. Okay, you have a lot of different organs. Your adrenals are just one. Your adrenals, your pancreas, your thyroid, your hypothalamus, your pituitary, your liver's in there. Guys, testicles, ladies, ovaries, uterus. I think I got all of them. They all work together as a system. So if you have a problem with one, it's going to throw the rest of the system off as well. So when you're working with one, you're working with the whole system. So when we're working with diabetes, obviously there's going to be a nutritional component. You've got to manage your sugar. I mean, you've got to manage your sugar through diet. But we also have to look at insulin resistance, that's repairing cell membranes, and we also have to look at correcting your hormone levels, correcting your endocrine organs. Adrenals are always going to be a part of that, but then we need to see what else is affecting your insulin levels, insulin resistance, things like that. It's going to be very, very specific. Diabetes, there's not just one cause. There's a lot of different ways that can show up and ways that we can work with you. But I hope that's not a cop-out answer. But that's the best that I can give you online. What I would suggest is give me a call, sign up for a time to talk. Guys, it's a great opportunity. That's what I got. Can you use Epsom salts in 30 ounces of water we drink? Epsom salt. No, I would not. The Epsom salt is going to cause you to have diarrhea. That's and they taste horrible. I don't know if you've drank Epsom salts before. I have. It's absolutely horrible. So I would just say stick with the 1 tablespoon of pink Himalayan salt. That's the tried and true way to get your body full of salt so that you can retain your water. So that's what I would do. I would definitely stay away from Epsom salts. That's a good question, though. All right, guys, that's what I have. Look, like I said, special offer, nutritionalhealingcharlotte.com. Go sign up for a time. It's a no-brainer. There is nothing to lose. Okay, guys, if you're not happy, I don't care why you're not happy. If you don't like the way I look, I'll give you your money back. I don't care. Let's do it. Let's talk. Let's see if we can help you. Let's be moving forward here. I hope you liked the video, guys. Make sure you share it. I got another one coming up next week. We're going to be talking about cholesterol. Why cholesterol is not the cause of heart disease. Can we please finally get over this crazy myth? We're going to talk about that next week live. I'll let you all know about that. Have a great day. Talk to you soon.